Hello, Andrew. How are you? Good to meet
Good,
you.
good. Great to meet
Nice
you
to
too,
meet
Mr.
you.
Pu.
Thank you very much for taking time to talk to me. So now, when did you start to learn piano?
So basically what happened was I started when I was six because I attended a lot of my brother George's lessons. And I think at the time I wanted to I was a very competitive person and I wanted to beat him at what he did.
Sure.
So I guess at the beginning it started off as a sort of competition. But I think as I grew even older and continued working and improving at piano, it sort of really grew on me, and I think I developed much stronger connections to music and the piano as a whole as a result of just persevering and growing and listening to more music.
That's great experience. So first, it was actually inspired, or whatever you feel like you need to challenge your brother. So now you grow to like the piano eventually.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely really love it, and it's a core part of my identity, I would think.
A lot of young kids probably experience something like pressure from the parents. I know you have a wonderful parents, you have two brothers that grew up so wonderfully. So was that all motivated by yourself or someone has to guide you, or even sometimes your parents have to push you to do things?
I will say discipline did not come easy to me as a child. So in the beginning, of course, like my parents both had to tell me whenever I had to practice and always constantly remind me or sometimes yell at me to do things. But I think as I entered high school, I tried to both find something like that I could follow myself in terms of a schedule, and also I looked to some of my friends who were also excelling just to see what I could learn from them in terms of how they managed to balance all their time. But I will say there was also a lot of help from my parents.
Do you do any sports yourself?
I wish I did, but I guess very recreationally with my brother whenever we have time in the afternoon and we're sick of practicing for a bit. We usually go out and there's a local middle school and we just play soccer there at their field. And,
Hmm.
yeah.
That's cool. So, growing up, you doing like music seems uniquely because you and your brother are exceptionally uh, good with piano because you achieved higher level. Um, I was wondering, now you have at the same time as other students have, right? And then you manage to practice piano, but you achieve much higher than average. Of course, you have talent. I mean, of course. Besides this, what other factors actually contributed to your achievement?
That's a great question. I'd say there are many different small factors that played a role, but I'd say the most important for me were, I guess, one, starting early, but not only starting early, but having the parents to discipline me and push me on and always sit by me while I practiced in order to instill high standards in me. Oh, a very huge factor for me was having great teachers to guide me.
Yeah, that's great. As we all know, in order to achieve in music, we need talented kids and we need the supportive parents. Of course, we need the great teachers. Tell us about a little bit more about your first teacher and second teacher and those experiences. Who are they and how their teaching style is?
Sure. So I started off with Dorothy Shi, who
杨金川老
unfortunately,
师，yeah.
right, who unfortunately passed away recently. But she was one of the best teachers that I've ever practiced with and learned from. She basically established all the fundamentals, starting from I guess basic scales, arpeggios, Hanon, Czerny, all of those core fundamentals. And she really drilled them into me every week for lesson. And she was such a patient and caring soul. And she literally every week she would always reward George and I with popsicles or like Coke for like just playing well and continuing to improve.
Great. Your second teacher was?
Yes, Hua Kyung-bian. She is a professor at the New England Conservatory,
Yeah.
and she taught George also from a very young age. So I didn't start learning from her until I was 13, but she not only developed that technical side that Mrs. Shi improved for me, but she also taught me like the importance of thinking, I guess, beyond what was on the notes on the page, and bringing in some of your own interpretation and your own inspiration into the piece, which I really appreciate. And
yeah, that's two very, very impressive teachers. Let's switch a subject. So you're such an achiever in music. It's very impressive. And when decided you would go to Harvard and pursuing different subject and also keep the music as a second consideration? How they will factor your music achievement? Do you have to, of course, you provide a resume and which state what you have done in music, but do you have to audition or you submit any kind of proof you actually can do that?
right, no, that's a great point. What they allowed us to do was to submit a few videos, and through their, I think that they have their own system for submitting videos, but I sent a few of my like competition videos, and I think they get somebody in the music department to like watch them and assign a score, and I think that plays a role in that extracurricular score. And also for the NEC component, there are like several auditions. One's a video recording, and the other is an in-person like 30-minute audition in front of all the piano faculty.
I see. So for as you get into the program, the Harvard actually provides you to the academic side, and they also admitted to NEC, New England Conservatory. Your teacher is actually from New England Conservatory. Is that right?
Yes. Yes.
It's a combined school program.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a joint or dual degree program.
Oh, I see. So when you graduate, you will get a Harvard degree and also NEC degree?
Exactly. Yeah. So it's actually a 5-year program. So 4 years at Harvard, you get your bachelor's, and then that 5th year in NEC, you get your master's in music.
So this is your, what year are you in right now?
Just finished my 3rd, going into my 4th.
So how's the load as a dual degree? I know I heard a lot of Harvard kids just doing one thing, they just like stress out. And then you still doing the both majors. How that turns out to you?
So there's, I think you get to choose how much to commit to each side. On my end, I think I try to achieve like a healthy amount of both academics and music. So on the academic side, I'm a pre-med student, hoping to maybe become a doctor in the future. So I have to take like a bunch of science heavy or pre-med heavy classes, such as like physics or like organic chemistry, et cetera, et cetera. And on the side, I try to practice like, I guess 3 to 4 hours a day, more on the 3 side, but yeah, I still try to keep learning new pieces, but I definitely know like conservatory students who have like all the time to practice every day, they definitely get to learn more pieces than I do, and I guess like go at a faster clip than some people like me in the dual degree program.
Great. So during the pandemic time, and you started the program to help the elderly people. Can you tell us a little bit more about that program?
Oh, so that is called Harvard Care. Basically, that program was started during the pandemic with my girlfriend in order to address, I think, needs in the elderly community in terms of being alone and not having people to reach out to during the pandemic. which could be definitely really difficult. I know everybody struggled with that at some point, just coping with that loneliness. So, and basically we reached out to a bunch of nursing homes in order to call a bunch of their coordinators, their volunteer coordinators there, to arrange weekly phone calls or Zoom calls with their seniors, and basically not only just keep them company, but get to know them and develop these long-lasting intergenerational relationships with them, which I think was definitely something that we thought could help alleviate the pressure and burden of being lonely during the pandemic.
Wow, that's so nice of you, thinking the seniors and help them in the real way. Yeah. I'm really impressed with what you've done as a young age so far. So now, if you were going to advise some other students still back in the high school or middle school, even in the elementary school, what you would suggest or what you would say to them in order to, get the best out of them to aim to the future?
Right. For me, I would say that the goal in your goal in life should be not to just do it because you're forced to, or to do it because like you begrudgingly want to like use it for something else, but do it because you really want to do it. Find some passion or some type of skill or hobby that you are willing to commit many hours a week to doing, that you could like sacrifice like a bunch of other activities for, that like you could see yourself doing in the future, and stick to it, grow, and continue fighting for it, because in my opinion, that intrinsic like motivation to do these types of activities is people like at the head of those fields do great things. So I would say just focus on finding what you love to do.
Great. That's a very great advice. You not only doing things, but you have to have a passion to do it. Eventually, the passion will motivate you to continue and to achieve. That's such a good advice to young people. Thank you so much. Well, that will conclude our conversation. Thank you so much. Best wish to you and your brother George. Thank you very much, Andrew.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.